Dango Stew here. I'm just going to keep pushing on, stripping down this Yamaha 4-stroke 50 horsepower. We got the power head off in the last video, and now we're going to keep stripping it down. I'm going to take the lower leg off. I'm going to take the bracket here, so I need to be able to get down to the pivot tube to unseize the steering, which means also taking off the power trim and tilt hydraulics. So we'll start with this lower cowling, which is only 4 bolts, and we should be able to get that pretty straightforward. I think I will drop the lower leg, and then we've got to tilt the outboard up so we can sit it on the stand and take those hydraulics off. So inside the lower cowling, you've just got 4 bolts in these, which are all 10 mils. So I'm just going to quickly get these ones out. These ones, these 2 back ones look like they've snapped about halfway down, so we might have a bit of fun drilling those out later on, get an easy out or something. See if we can recover those. It's actually quite corroded at the back here, this engine. Anyway, let's pop this off for now, and we'll worry about that during the reassembly videos. So on second thoughts, what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to leave that for now, rather than stressing that grommet. Just going to cut this cable tie so I can pull this other grommet. Looks in better condition for the wires for the power trim and tilt. I've got to feed those out anyway, so I might as well just do that now. So I'll just grab some side cutters and we'll get that cable tie off. Okay. I'm just going to push this grommet through as well. And there's plenty of room to feed the wires out. Just go and pop this down. Now we can start to get a better look at some of the corrosion we've got here. I'm going to tilt this motor up now. It's going to be easier to take the gearbox off, I think, once the engine's tilted up, just easy to get to bolts and things. So I'm just going to tilt it by using the original batteries, sort of bypassing the relay bit. So next step now that's very important is just to make sure the stand's down here, just so that the motor itself can't drop. If you get scissored anything between here, it's going to get very nasty, so always make sure that's down. Now I'm just going to drop it down a little bit so that the weight's resting on that stand. So all I need to do to drop it is just to reverse the polarity on these wires. Drop it down. And we're good to go. Okay, I think I'm going to start by taking the gearbox off, because if anything it's just one less thing to whack your head on when you're under here doing the hydraulics. So let's grab, not sure if I'm going to fit a socket in this gap, so I might grab a spanner. It looks to be about a 14 mil or something, I think. Let me go check. Yep. Actually, I'm just going to, there's a lot more chance of stripping nuts if we're just using the open end of a spanner. But this is a ratchet spanner and the head's actually too large to get on, so I'm just going to go and grab a regular ring spanner to do these, just so I don't strip them. So these nuts are quite tight, and I'm worried about having the same thing happens here. So I'm actually just going to use this little plastic hammer to just give it a bit of impacting motion, which, as well as helping get it undone, also reduces the chance of just snapping the bolt. So we'll leave that one for now. Looks like these have had some graphite grease on them, which is nice. Not they came out easily, but at least they came out, so that's a good thing. One of the real reasons we wear gloves is this particular grease is almost impossible to get off your skin for days until it wears, so if you do end up using it or come across it, try to avoid touching it. So underneath here is where there's the trim tab anode. So I'm going to take that one off, and we can get to a bolt under here. This looks like it needs replacing anyway. It looks like it's about a 12 mil. So one 12 mil fastener holding this anode on. And, well, one 12 mil fastener and some corrosion. A few barnacles. Gonna find something to pry that off with. There we go. And I'll just pop this down and I'll grab the camera and I'll show you what we're looking for here. So under that, under the anode that was here, there was the one screw holding the anode in, or the one bolt holding the anode in, and then there's that final fastener for the leg is hidden under there. It's a little secret squirrel one. So sometimes, you know, you just, depending on the outboard, just have a look at its anode, because quite often there is a final nut to take the gearbox off. So the nut under here we were just looking at is a 12mm, slightly smaller than the others. Okay, so this is, be careful of this now, it's probably got a fair bit of friction holding it in, the drive shaft, but it is now loose at this stage. There we go. One lower unit, water pump, as you probably know, and then exhaust back down. So I'm just going to pop that gearbox down for a second. Now we're going to have a go at taking this trim tilt off. Might just move the camera down a bit lower so I can get you a better shot. So here we go with the power trim tint removal. So the first thing I do is take this pin out. Put money on that, couldn't you? What can we do about that? A little bit more room this way. That's quite going to help us, is it? Okay, let's just get this out a bit. There we go. So this cable, which is the power cable for the, here's the sensor on this side. This is the power to the motor that we were using to trim it earlier. You can just feed this through the bracket. So we'll just get that on the right side for the removal. These are just the little boots that were on these connectors. Put them back on. We've also got an anode attached to this, attached to the hydraulics, so I'm just going to take these off. Two little 10mm fasteners. Actually, you know, that one can stay. I really only need to disconnect that lead. So I think I'll leave that in place and even just pop this one back in a bit. So up under here at the top of the shaft there's a little circlip here that needs to be removed so this pin can come out. There's one on both sides. This one's actually rusted and broken. It's lost one of its the little eyes that you put the pliers into. So I'm just going to have to break that off with a screwdriver or something. So normally you'd use a pair of pliers, these little circlip pliers, to take those off, but not very much luck with that one, so I'm just going to use a little pocket screwdriver and take what's left of it off. Might just grab some normal needle nose pliers. still breaking. There's not much left of this one. You can see how rusty it is, very manky. Oh well, getting you one of those. Now, the more I think about this too, I think I actually might take this off the stand at this stage, lay it flat, then I can just get an impact wrench in here. There's no point wrestling it, whether I can lie it quite comfortably on its side now. So I think I'll do that. Alright, so I think this is going to be a bit easier. Before you lay it on the side, just don't ever forget to make sure all the oil's completely drained out of the sump. No one would ever forget to do that, would they? No. I've got to cut me some slack. I'm tragically hungover today. So, clean this up a little bit. Won't rust now. This nut here is a 24mm. I've got a socket now which I'll be able to get on. We'll see how we go. I think this one might be a tough one too, but we'll try it. There we go. Gotta be lucky sometimes. Be curious to see how much force it's going to take to hammer that pin through as well. What can we do to make that a bit easier? Have a look. That's going to help a huge amount. It's a bit like wishful thinking, isn't it? So we're going to start with this bottom bolt first. I think this is going to take quite a bit of force to get it out. We might end up, sooner than I expected, being able to give you a sort of example of some of the techniques and the sort of steps I'll go through to get something like this unseized. I will start by just putting a bit more penetrating oil at every opportunity. I'm going to be giving this a few taps on this end, so I'm just going to pop that nut back on so I don't damage the thread when we give this a few hits. Of course, that nut's conveniently wedged in my socket now. Just going to go and give this a few whacks in a vise. So I'll just put this on, not right on, just enough so that it's protecting the end of the bolts. When we're hitting that, we're actually hitting the nut, not the mushrooming the head and making it impossible to get the nut back on later. Certainly not coming easily. I'm just going to go to the straight bolt through and just hit it with a hammer. I think we're getting close, so there we go, it's nice and easy now. Just got to support this a bit while it comes through. Success. Yeah, there's a lot of dust and corrosion coming out of there at the same time too, so I'll definitely be giving that a big clean up before it all goes back together. Alright, let's get the top one out and then we'll have the power trim tilt hydraulics removed. So there we go. These nylon bushings here I'll replace as well while it's all apart. As you can see, it's a reasonably big job to get from the outboard on the boat to this part of the motor particularly. Maybe not so much the power trim, but certainly the steering, so everything I see that's a little bit worse wear I'm just going to replace while I'm here. So I think we'll end this video here. Definitely going to push on because the main problem with this is this pivot tube is entirely seized. This just doesn't turn at all. So the motor's pretty much useless until that's fixed. But I'm going to dedicate a whole video just to the steering side of things. So we'll leave this one here. So thanks for watching. I'm Dango Stew. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We're certainly going to be pushing on from here and getting right to the point of fixing the steering mechanism in this boat, the pivot tube that's seized. So that'll probably, I'd say, be the next video. I think we'll get to that in one hit next time. So stay tuned and take care. Bye bye.